The dirty secrets of clean electric vehicles. Let's all hail this pièce de résistance from Mr. Tilak Doshi, who has worked for the oil and gas industry for the majority of his career. Just thought we'd let you know. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on. This poorly researched opinion piece contains all the classic anti-EV propaganda we've heard from the fossil fuel industry before, and that's been debunked by independent scientists and researchers. The author talks about children mining cobalt in Africa to contradict the clean image of electric vehicles. Then he goes on to quote from one Professor Kelly, who says we would need huge amounts of lithium, cobalt, copper, and so on if the world is to transition to electric mobility. And mining all these minerals would cause major environmental issues for the world. Let's get one thing straight. We absolutely do not condone child labor. As for Mr. Tilak Doshi, he clearly has no clue about the reality of the Indian electric vehicle scene. Most electric vehicles sold in India use lithium iron phosphate batteries which do not have cobalt at all. Tesla has contracted LG Chem and CATL to make lithium iron phosphate batteries as well. Additionally, electric vehicles use only a few kilograms of lithium and other minerals over a 12 to 13 year period. Even after that, batteries have second and third lives and minerals can be recycled. What is a car battery today can be an inverter battery tomorrow. Compare that to the thousands of liters of oil that internal combustion vehicles burn over their lifetimes, not to mention the pollution they cause in our cities. Plus, oil is 0% recyclable. The environmental impact of oil is far more than that of minerals used in a battery. Further, if the author is criticizing lithium mining operations in Chile, why does he ignore the terrible environmental impact of extracting shale gas in the United States or manufacturing crude oil in Nigeria? And the less said about the huge environmental issues with the oil industry, the better. Obviously, Mr. Tilak has ridden the dinosaur that's the fossil fuel industry his whole life, so he can't or won't choose to see the benefits of EVs or the harmful effects of the fossil fuel industry. Next, Mr. Tilak makes the usual complaints about coal and claims electric vehicles cause more pollution. 12 years after the first Tesla Roadster rolled off the production line and brought EVs into the mainstream, it's hard to believe that people are still flogging this dead horse. It has been proven time and again that fueling an electric car or scooter with electricity produced from coal power plants is still cleaner, cheaper, and more efficient than using petrol or diesel. Ultimately, Mr. Tilak Doshi and other EV cynics are the kind of people who revel in sensational or dramatic headlines like the dirty secrets of clean electric vehicles. Rather than waste any more words on them, let me quote the man without whom the EV revolution would probably not have been possible, the great Nikola Tesla. He said,
"It is not a dream. It is a simple feat of scientific electrical engineering. Electric power can drive the world's machinery without the need of coal, oil, or gas."
Electric power is everywhere, present in unlimited quantities, and can drive the world's machinery and vehicles without the need of coal, oil, or gas. Beat that, oil lobby. Solar energy badly harms the environment. It must be taxed, not subsidized. This author claimed that US President Donald Trump was right to walk out of the climate agreement. It's hard enough to take someone seriously after such a claim, but then he talks about imposing taxes and cancelling subsidies for the solar industry. Brilliant idea. Let's do that instead of taxing, diesel, which has been highly subsidized in India for decades. India is one of the countries with the largest number of diesel cars on the road because of this diesel subsidy, even though diesel is far more harmful to the environment than petrol. The author then talks about the poor quality of solar power systems and claims he's getting hardly any power from his own solar setup. I guess his setup must be held together with duct tape and powered by the dying dreams of the dinosaur oil lobby, because we've interviewed many people with solar setups on our channel and they've all had nothing but positive things to say. The author then talks about battery technologies and how they cannot be improved upon. Seriously, battery technologies are improving every day. How else can you explain electric cars becoming more reliable and fast and getting longer range? All nascent technologies need time to grow. Aviation would have been a fantasy if people hadn't built on the Wright brothers aeroplane. Even petrol cars would have remained dirty, dangerous vehicles you needed a crank to start without Henry Ford's production line or Charles Kettering's electric self-starter. Today, we have electric cars, electric planes, and electric ships. They need to be given time to improve, just like the first cars and planes did a century ago. This article is another pathetic attempt by the mainstream media to discredit an environmentally friendly technology just so the fossil fuel industry can be continued to be kept on life support. Study claims switching to EVs won't alone help India's environment. Wow, a hat trick! We are truly blessed. You know what they say, when you start making enemies, it means you're doing something right. This article is quoting some research from a certain Radboud University in the Netherlands. Hindustan Times has not even bothered to link the research article for readers' reference. We had to Google Radboud University and find the paper ourselves, in which the professor says the answer is clear. To reduce carbon emissions, we should choose electric cars and household heat pumps over fossil fuel alternatives. This article from the Hindustan Times simply assumed that India's electric grid is 100% based on coal and discounted the fact that India's renewable energy mix has grown to 36% and will grow more in the coming decade. Considering the fact that most Indian newspapers have become little more than propaganda spouting snot rags, is it any surprise that Hindustan Times printed a misquoted article with zero in-depth analysis?
Thank you, Abhishek, for the EV gossip. And I would like to say that it's disgraceful, Rafi, that, the mainstream media actually is letting out information and publishing articles without even checking the facts or even, doing some basic research on how things work in the EV industry or the solar industry.
That's right, Amit. And if the mainstream media was actually honest and they cared even a little bit about educating people and letting them know the facts about electric vehicles, about solar power, and spreading the good word around, then we would not have such anti-EV and anti-solar articles.
Ultimately, these media houses are influencers on a large scale. Millions of people actually read the Economic Times, the Times of India, the Hindustan Times, and it's shocking to see garbage being published by these media houses and articles which are negative and picturing electric vehicles in a complete wrong way, and even about solar energy. Rafi, have you also noticed that in these articles there's always a little disclaimer below, like in the fine line it says the views in this article are expressed by the writer and are their opinion.
Exactly, Amit. They always weasel out.
But you large media organizations, don't you feel that for humanity's sake that you have a responsibility to vet the information before you publish it in these opinion pieces?
Yeah, Amit, I think just because they write that disclaimer, it seems that they feel that they have the right to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Which is hugely irresponsible. So also, I haven't seen a single article in mainstream media which tells me about the benefits of electric vehicles or the societal benefits. And the mainstream media just doesn't seem to be carrying these. Most of the time, we see opinion pieces in mainstream media from people who have an agenda against EVs.
True.
And they consist of such sensational headlines like the dark secrets of electric vehicles or the dirty secrets of clean EVs and things like that.
So independent alternate media like us, where we have an opinion, but we also give you facts, and hopefully we are building up trust with you guys, that you know that here at Plug in India, we give you the right information.
That's right. And guys like you who are watching our show are making this grassroots movement happen.
Yes.
If you have any contacts in mainstream media and you find that they are writing such opinion pieces, then please let them know, give them a piece of your mind and tell them what's going on. So whenever there is an anti-EV or anti-solar opinion piece in the mainstream media, write to them and let them know that they have to vet the facts.
So these anti-EV and anti-solar opinion pieces are extremely dangerous for India because lakhs of people have the wrong information and wrong opinions about these green transport and clean energy, and all because of these opinions.